The general rule of thumb that I think typically PMs look at is what is the EM/PM ratio, right? You look at the fact that ideally a good product or EM/PM ratio is essentially is 8 to 10. But I think the lens that I like to add is not EM/PM ratio, but the impact the PM has on across the org. So the philosophy is ideally a good PM will actually impact about 20 to 30 employees of the company. And that's the lens I look at is what are the, what are the stakeholders I impacted. So that's the lens that now keeping in mind that if you impact 20 to 30, members in the company, right, you should also be spending time building rapport with them. Which means your rapport should not be limited to only be product or design or engineering org. I know that typically PMs are comfortable interacting with. Extremely important to build rapport with business org as well. Simple thing, right? They spend talking to customers day in, day out, right? That's their job. That's what they're hired for, right? The amount of intel you will get will be 10x to what you could do on your own. That is one. Second thing is they'll also start giving you a lot more face time with customers so that you also can ask your questions directly because they feel comfortable putting you in the call. They'll feel comfortable the fact that you're adding value to their day-to-day life. They'll be feeling too comfortable, which means that you'll also start building rapport with end customers. So let's say on the day you want, let's say like early feedback, early access, you may even call the PM directly. Hey, by the way, we met last month. Let's say like a CureFit PM, right? We met last month launching subscription feature. Do you want to give it a try, right? The PMs will absolutely be okay with it because you spend the time with the sales team, came to the office, had the conversation, and sold them the product or add value to their conversation. They now will be happy to be now your early beta access or GTM customers, right? But all this only happened because the fact that sales team felt comfortable putting in the customers call, which means you had a great rapport with sales team. Generally, I think in early days of a PM's life cycle, maybe let's like a PM on a PM2, maybe your rapport with your product or maybe sufficient, like just working well with engineers, design, analytics. But as you scale up to a peer people leader and a revenue leader, right, it's extremely important to have a rapport because their trust and their faith in you will also have an impact on your growth, right? A lot of people don't realize it, but that's the reality, right? Do they feel comfortable holding you accountable for a revenue that they are equally accountable for, right? And are they comfortable with you leading, right? So keep in mind that it's important to build rapport, but not just from a following your growth part, but the fact that the lens they'll bring in will be different that you never thought of, right? Marketing will bring in a very different lens that, how do customers interact with Google search? How do customers interact with various tools? What does that metric and funnel look like? Where is competition, spending most of our social media money, right? You'll be surprised to know that the fact that, a lot of things Cashfree may not be doing, but they're spending money on social media, will give you indicators. Okay, I think this is where they're leaning. So we should kind of hedge our bet against it, right? So a lot of insight is important, but that'll only happen if you build rapport with them, right? They'll not automatically come to you. Is that let's talk. Let me tell you where competition is spending money on social media, right? And can you do this, right? They'll only feel comfortable if you spend time with them, build trust with them, and they'll be happy to also help you, make better decisions. So yeah, absolutely important. Zero debate. Very critical aspect for any PM is spend time building rapport with your peers. Peers across engineering, product design, business, marketing, operations. And generally, rule of thumb is maybe limit to about once every 2 weeks or 1 month, because beyond it, or I would say less than that, you may not be able to much to talk about. More than that, you might just not build the relationship, right? So general rule of thumb is once every 2 weeks or 4 weeks, depending on your comfort with the individual.